Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We have discussed already the first lesson, which is the title is the title is text as connected discourse. So we discussed already, class, what's the difference between text as connected discourse and discourse. Okay, so when we say discourse, that is a process of conversation, that is, I mean, speech. What else? Argumentation. Okay, like when you're talking casually to your friends or to the people around you, that's a form of discourse. But text as a connected discourse, meaning it has a coherence, it is organized. Okay, and things like this are usually being said during during the writing process or in the world of writing. So this time, class, we are going to discuss the lesson 2, which is techniques in selecting and organizing information. So just like, for example, um, when you are making a sermon, you are making a draft, like you're writing everything, you're doing a bullet, outline. Okay, and many more. This time we are going to discuss about that. So our topic today is techniques. Okay, techniques in selecting and organizing information. Okay, but before that, you are going to answer or to read first the Word of God, which is the devotional. And this week's devotional is entitled, Whenever I am anxious and worried, you comfort me and make me glad. That is in the book of Psalm 19. Okay, so next, okay, the target competency is realizes that information in a written text may be selected and organized to achieve a particular purpose. And thus, they will they will what? Number one, distinguishes between and among techniques in selecting and organizing information. Letter A, brainstorming, graphic organizer, topic outline, and sentence outline. Learning targets. Number one, organize an idea using techniques in selecting and organizing information. Number two, discusses the importance of each technique in selecting and organizing information. For your performance test, you're going to construct an informative essay about any chosen topic by applying all the techniques learned. So how do you organize your ideas? Write an ideas that would occur in your mind, and when you hear that word gadget, so you put in here, okay? So let's get started. All right, this is perfect for our topic. Wow. Okay, so you get now the screen, am I right? All right. Now, techniques in organizing information. How do you organize your ideas? Class, how do you organize your ideas? Write the ideas that would occur in your mind about gadgets. Techniques are approaches or methods you, as a writer, may use to organize the information you have gathered. Okay, let's continue. It is to accomplish your desired aim in writing and to improve your writing craft. Okay, so let me repeat. It is an approaches or methods you as a writer may use to organize the information you have gathered to accomplish your desired aim in writing and to improve your writing craft. Okay, so that is techniques. Next, basic techniques in organizing information. Number one, brainstorming. It is a group creativity technique by which efforts are made to find a conclusion from a specific problem by gathering a list of ideas spontaneously contributed by its members. Okay, so you notice class, whenever you have classes from different subjects, your teacher usually asks you to brainstorm. Why? Because one idea is better than, two heads or two ideas are better than one head or one idea. Okay, so it's a lot better if there are more suggestions, more ideas, and then it will be mixed into one. Next, the term was popularized by Alex Fikney Osborne in the 1953 book Applied Imagination. That's according to Wikipedia. Okay, that's not mine. He developed this technique when he got frustrated that his employers could not come up with useful techniques as they work individually. So, four brainstorming tips suggested by Mark Nicole in Daily Writing Tips. Number one, cubing. In this strategy, a topic or idea is examined in six viewpoints. Number one, what is the topic? Second, what is it like or unlike? Next, what does it make you think of? What constituent parts is it made of? How can it be used? How can you support or oppose it? Number two, free writing. Okay, but before anything else, you notice class when you're riding on a motor vehicle, when you are used to driving it. Sometimes when it doesn't have oil anymore, you have to free wheel it. Okay, you have to free wheel it. Okay. So in this technique, just keep on writing, not in minding errors in spelling and grammar. The objective here is to just write what comes to your mind. Have a quantitative goal like coming up with 500 words or more. Then review what you have written later and hopefully come up with a specific topic that would interest you. So just like for example, class, if you want to be fluent in English, just keep talking, talking, talking using the English language and someday you'll be fluent. Okay? So when you keep using it, you'll become fluent because you keep talking, talking and talking without without minding the grammar, the pronunciation. Okay, it just goes along the way. Okay, and that's learning. This is so the same also in writing. You have to write and write on a paper your idea, and then once you have stored information a lot or a lot of information, you're going to what you're going to filter it to organize them. Okay, so that's it. Next is listing. Okay, list down what comes to your mind. If your attention is to come up with a topic to write about, enumerate them. An important reminder in using this technique is not to list your ideas in an outline form because an outline will require you to organize items and your thoughts, which is a principle contrary to brainstorming. Okay, so that's it. Listing. Okay, next one is mapping. It is also known as clustering and webbing. It is a graphic form of listing that simply involves jotting down ideas on a large writing surface and then making connections by associating similarly themed ideas with color coded circles or underlines or distinct patterns, and then indicating other relationships by linking with lines. Okay. Next is graphic organizer, known as knowledge map, concept map, story map, cognitive organizer, advanced organizer, or concept diagram is a communication tool that uses visual symbols to express knowledge, concepts, thoughts, and ideas, and the relationship between them. The main purpose of a graphic organizer is to provide a visual aid to facilitate learning and instruction. It is easier for the writer to explain his or her ideas if he or she is able to present the graphic devices in such a way that can help others focus on the relationship of the ideas presented with I can see here anyway presented. Types of graphic organizers which you can use in writing. First, concept map graphically illustrate a relationship between two or more concepts and are linked by words to describe the relationships. Okay, so this is the concept map. So from here, from trees, okay, it gives oxygen, it gives wood, and then from oxygen, it is important for humans, it is important to plants, and it is important to animals. And so it gives wood as well. It is used to build houses, used to make paper, used to make furniture. So webs. Web shows how different categories of information relate to one another. So just like for example, in a spider web rather. Okay. So it connects to one another from one wave to another waves. Okay. So these are webs. Then mind map. Mind maps are a visual representation of hierarchical information that include a central idea or image surrounded by connected branches of associated topics or ideas. Okay, so this is mind maps. Mind maps. Okay, good, good. Okay, let's proceed. Okay, this is what we called flow diagram sequence chart. Okay, so this type of graphic organizer shows a series of steps or events in the order in which they will take place. They can be used in outlining the events in the story or showing a procedure in a scientific process. Okay, so here, flow diagram or sequence chart. You notice class, um, most of the institution has a Oh, no, no. Yeah, aside from institution, we also have enrollment sequences. Okay, the admission procedure for medical examination, you will go to serious or casual, and then fit or unit, and then document verification, and many more. Venn diagram. It is used to identify similarities and differences between two or more concepts. That is why class in most of your modules, it has or they have a Venn diagram. Okay, what's the different? Same, different. So for example, what's the different between a house and a mansion? You're going to write their differences, and how about their similarities? Okay, so for example, the differences are number one, of course, a house is smaller than is really small compared to a mansion. How about the similarities? Similarities is it is a shelter. Okay, it is still a shelter. It's just that it differs uh, with their with their size. Okay, with their sizes. So next is organizational chart or diagram. A chart or a chart that shows the structure of an organization. So this is the one telling you earlier that in an institution there is a organizational chart or diagram. So from president to vice president. Like so for example here in CPAC we have president, vice president for student affairs, vice president for finance, and then next is the academic deans, okay, or the principal in the academy and elementary. So that's organizational management or chart rather. Okay, so from chairman, vice chairman, quality department, human resource, legal affairs department, construction department, so on and so forth. Okay, pie chart. It is a type of circular graph which is divided into slices to illustrate a numerical proportion. So pie. Okay, that one. So for example, class, this is actually useful when you do budgeting, especially when you're married already, you have to do pie chart or pie budgeting. So for example, 23% for the education, 30% for the foods, 18% for transportation or for adventure, lago-lago kamo, and then 15% for what for your clothings, 9% for the allowances of the children, and 5% for what this is for emergency. Okay, so it's just an example. Next is graph. It is a collection of all points whose coordinates satisfy a given relation. The most commonly used graphs are the line and a bar graph. Okay, okay, the one bar graph. Table, a systematic arrangement of data, usually in rows and in columns for ready reference. Okay, oh, this is okay. Okay. How about topic outline? So it is a form of outline that uses parallel. Okay, parallel. It's not clear here. Parallel phrases for the heading to the so sentence outline, it is a form of outline that uses sequence that uses sentences for the heading all through that. So outline, there are two formats of outlining. First is number or letter format. Second is decimal outline format. In the number letter format, it is the use of the number, then letter in an outline. You use the Roman numeral for the main heading. You start with Roman I for the heading, and then under are the subheadings or supporting details, which are indented and are marked by capital letters. If there, if there, if there is subheading, Are, if there are subheadings under letter A, ident further and use Arabic numbers 1 and so on. So in case of information not as important as subheading. So number letter format. So for example, This is actually, you know what, this is really common when you do writing. So, for example, in your elementary days and even up to senior high school. So, when you write a story, you should have a main heading, a sub heading, then number two is your main heading. Okay, so the same process. Next is decimal outline format. So, most likely, um, when we do outlining, we usually use numbering. Number one, this is first point, and second point is number two. Okay, and like one. Activity time. Oh, wow. Okay, so in your lesson two, you have to follow the activity. Okay, you have to follow the activity and you have to answer it properly. Okay. If you have any concern, feel free to ask me. I am an approachable type of person. Do not hesitate to ask me. But of course, remember, remember few of the things that you have to do when you ask your subject teacher. First, ask with humility. Second, ask with respect. Okay. Number three, ask on a perfect time. Because you may PM them or you may PM me even if I'm having a class. Okay. But anyhow, with or without classes, as long as we're available, we will entertain your queries. Okay. So God bless us all.